When President Robert Mugabe exchanged nuptials with Grace Marufu amid pomp and fanfare in August 1996, few would have guessed that she would, after 2 decades, make such a dramatic impact on the country's political landscape. By Hazel Indabella, just a typist at the office of the president and cabinet, Grace married Mugabe in an extravagant ceremony, making her the country's first lady. In recent years, her influence had risen as she had become the power behind the throne. Until this week's dramatic events, which saw the army holding Mugabe hostage and arresting ministers linked to Grace's G40 faction, she had become a major influence in her husband's political career. Grace's relationship with Mugabe reportedly blossomed at the time the president's first wife, Sally Mugabe, was terminally ill, and the two had their first child, Bona, out of wedlock in 1990. Other than Bona, the two have other children, the two troublesome boys Robert Jr. and Bellamy Chatunga, known for their extravagant lifestyle and partying. The First Lady is also as extravagant as her children, and for a long time, was known for her love for the fine things in life, hence the nickname of Gucci Grace. Other than her opulence, she was well known for her penchant for traveling, accompanying her globe-trotting husband to almost every country he visited. She was once a regular at London's famous designer clothing store, Harrods. At one point she demanded that the department store shut its doors to other customers to enable her to shop in privacy. In early 2002, before European Union sanctions on her family and their cronies, she blew $120,000 while shopping in Paris, according to French and English tabloids. Recently, she spent $1.4 million on a diamond ring. Grace Mugabe had over the years grown into a powerful politician and businesswoman while seeing herself as a philanthropist. The First Lady owns a dairy, a massive double-story building, an orphanage and large tracts of land in the picturesque Mazo area of Mashonaland Central. Grace and her family also own more than 10 farms, and are part of the new land aristocracy ushered in by government's chaotic land reform program, which began in 2000. Grace entered politics on a full-time basis in 2014 after being appointed Secretary of the Women's League at the ZANU-PF Congress. Prior to her appointment, she had embarked on a Meet the People tour, where she vilified former Vice President Joyce Mujuru, accusing her of plotting to unseat her husband. At Grace's instigation, Mujuru was expelled from ZANU-PF alongside hundreds of her allies, among them the party's Secretary for Administration Didymus Mutasa and spokesperson Joyce Mujuru. Mugabe appointed Mujuru's longtime rival Emmerson Mnangagwa as vice president, but Grace soon turned her guns against him. Using close associates such as Higher Education Minister Jonathan Moyo, Political Commissar Xavier Kasukuwere and the Women's League, Grace embarked on a vilification campaign targeting Mnangagwa and his war veterans and military allies. Relations between the military and the First Family soured as a result, prompting Mugabe to attack security officials for meddling in ZANU-PF internal affairs at the party's annual conference in Victoria Falls in December 2015. Mugabe then met army commanders the same evening to defuse the tense situation, but tensions continued to grow mainly because of Grace's incessant attacks of Mnangagwa and the military. In February last year, Grace's then ally and outspoken Sarah Mahoka accused Mnangagwa of factionalism and challenged him to speak out. She called him a duck which just quacks as its ducklings perish. At a rally in Chilwish, also in February, Grace claimed that the military wanted to kill her son Bellamy and bomb her Alpha Omega dairy. Mugabe again met army generals to discuss problems, fueled by Grace's attacks targeting the army. In October, at a rally at Sakuba Stadium in Mutara, Grace said she was not afraid of being shot by Mnangagwa's allies. Her campaign against Mnangagwa escalated ahead of the party's extraordinary congress slated for December, where she led for a campaign for the former vice president to be dismissed from both the government and ZANU-PF party and before the congress. Indeed, Mugabe obliged and sent Mnangagwa packing. A process to boot out to limit the influence of his key allies such as Finance Minister Patrick Chinamasa was put in motion. Many saw the development as a confirmation that Grace was indeed the power behind the throne. It did not take the G40 faction too long to influence the party's provincial structures to declare that they wanted Grace to take over the vice presidency at the party's congress. According to Grace, she had arrived, and to her she would soon become the country's second most powerful individual after the president. Grace and her acolytes' plan was progressing well until Zimbabwe Defense Forces Commander General Constantino Chiwenga on Monday called Mugabe to order and directed him to stop the purges ahead of the Extraordinary Congress. Chiwenga warned that the military could step in to stop a threat to national security. He warned politicians to stop recklessly denigrating the military, in remarks seen as directed at Grace. Unfazed by Chiwenga's statements, ZANU-PF Youth League Secretary Kujanayi Chipanga called for a press conference accusing the army of looting proceeds from diamonds. ZANU-PF spokesman Simon Kayamoyo also issued a statement stating that Chiwenga's statements were treasonous. The military then stepped in between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, holding Mugabe hostage and arresting Grace's key allies while others went into hiding, signaling that the First Lady has lost her grip on power. Law lecturer at Kent University in England Alex Magesa said the statement by the military marks the end of an era. The last straw for most people within and outside ZANU-PF was the increasingly evident possibility that Mugabe's wife Grace was well on course to succeed him. That would have created a Mugabe dynasty. Many found the idea of a Mugabe dynasty extremely repulsive, said Magesa. There might have been a residue of sympathy for Mugabe, but many were repulsed by Grace's brand of politics. She was brash and condescending, with a penchant for humiliating adults in public. Many dreaded the prospect of her presidency.